Thank you for being here today. I'm going to talk to you today about planning, not the big planning where you're overwhelmed and you feel like you have to have every detail of your life in line. We're going to talk about the tiny ways to plan so that you get to feel calm and in charge of your day. So, I'm Missy Hughes. I'm a productivity coach. I help you get things done. So if you like what you hear in this video, go to the comments of the video and get the link to get started with planning. It's going to help you implement little ways that you can build. So why is planning so hard? Things that I hear are, I don't have time to plan. I am always late. I'm terrible at planning. I don't have my stuff together. I can't do this. Like I can't look that far ahead. Um, I can't ever seem to catch a break to plan. So I get it. Me too. My stuff is not together. For years and years, was late in my life. I never felt like I could get ahead. I never felt like I could catch a break. I never felt like I could move forward in my life. So I'm going to teach you why you feel that way, but also how you can get ahead, how you can shift that in tiny ways. So let's look, for instance, at planning to go to a dentist appointment. For instance, if I'm going to plan that, this is how long it would take me. I would go to my calendar and see. I'm looking at tomorrow, right? So I'm going to go to tomorrow and say, what time is my dentist appointment? Okay, 10 o'clock. So then I'm going to go, that's going to take me 12 seconds. I timed all of this earlier. That's going to take me 12 seconds. Then I'm going to go to the map. I'm going to put the address in and I'm going to see how long it takes me to get there. That takes another like 13 seconds. Then I'm going to decide, okay, I'm going to see what time I would need to leave. I'm going to give an extra 10 minutes so that I can plan for red lights. I can watch a puppy cross the street and I feel calm. Then I'm going to say that, so that takes me 1 second to add that 10 minutes. I'm going to calculate my drop dead leave time. That adds 2 seconds to this planning process. I'm going to add my shower time. That I know how long it takes me to take a shower. If you need to figure that out, you can add the time to figure that out. That takes a second in the planning process. And I'm going to then calculate my drop dead. I've got to be in the shower by this time. So that whole process, looking at the appointment, getting the drive time, adding 10 minutes, calculating my leave time, adding my shower time, calculating my drop dead time, that all took 32 seconds. 32 seconds to take a look in the future, see what's going down, and figure out what time I need to leave, what time I need to do what I need to do to be on time for what I'm doing. So let's just look at how long it would take me to be late, because this is very familiar in my life, how long it takes. So the first thing that I'm going to do what it's going to cost me to be late. The first thing it's going to cost me is I'm going to be panicked and I'm going to yell at a member of my family. Not sure which one. Might be the dog, might be the husband, might be the child. One of them's getting yelled at because I'm going to blame them for something that's happening with me. So that cost is going to be about 20 minutes of blaming and anger that I'm going to feel. And then it's going to be all day shame because I was a jerk. So that's going to cost me all day time. I'm going to forget at least one thing on the way to the car. So I'm going to have to run back. That's going to cost me 2 minutes. I'm going to drive like a crazy maniac. That's going to cost me at least 15 minutes if I get pulled over. And if I don't get pulled over, it's going to take 13 minutes off my life because it's so stressful. So I'm going to get the side eye from the receptionist because I'm late. And so I'm going to come up with some lame excuse that's going to cost me the shame of being either a liar or an excuse maker at best. So I'm going to have that negative interaction that I'm going to feel terrible about all day also. So the cost of being late is way higher than 32 seconds. I mean, way higher than 32 seconds, right? So it isn't necessarily the time it takes to look ahead, to plan for this dentist appointment, because anybody's got 32 seconds. I mean, we just do. It's a fact. If you're listening to this, you've got 32 seconds, right? But the real thing that you're doing is not spending that 32 seconds. The real thing that you're doing is you're caring about you tomorrow morning. You're caring about how you feel in your day. You're caring about how you're showing up for you. Never mind your family members. Never mind the people on the sidewalk that you almost run over because you're a crazy driver when you're late. Never mind all the fallout that comes. When you take 32 seconds to plan something little like going to the dentist, you're caring about the future you. You're caring, that's called self-care. So often we think about self-care as like a bath or a pedicure or a drink, right? I mean, I think we probably don't always put drinking as self-care, but really, I mean, we do. I deserve this. I need this. Whatever. None of those are self-care, though. Really, what those are is a break from our life. But a break from your life doesn't change the details of what happens in your life. It doesn't change the details of how you're showing up for your life. It doesn't change how you feel when you're rushing around, when you're late, when you don't have your stuff together. So, when we plan, we think that we have to have our ducks in a row first, which is not true. What we have to do when we plan is just be able to take a peek in the future and say, what's happening? How can I figure that out? I'll tell you, when you rush around, here's what happens. I want you to understand truly why you feel like you can't get ahead in life. When you're rushing around, when you're late, first you're rushed. The energy of rushed is frenetic, right? It's unpleasant, it's stressful. And so it's also forgetful and you're likely to make mistakes, right? You're not as clear thinking. And so you make mistakes and then you have to redo, which costs you more time. Or you're breaking things. I'm famous for like stubbing my toe or knocking things over, and then that costs me time too. But secondly, you aren't present. When you are feeling stressed, your body turns on its stress systems. So instead of like looking at the joys of life, when your stress system is on, you're looking for the dangers of life. So you aren't like enjoying where you are, you're looking for the bad stuff. You're looking for the stuff that might get in your way. You're looking for what is going to be harmful to me and keep me alive. Our stress system is really old. It's used to like running from tigers and bears. It's not worried about dentist appointments, right? And so the danger becomes like, what's in my way? What's the next terrible thing, right? So your body is turning off things like hunger cues. It's turning off digestion. So if you do shovel something in your mouth, your body isn't utilizing it really well. And so also when you're looking for the bad stuff all the time, you're not looking for the good stuff. You're not feeling uh, grateful. You're not feeling happy. You're not feeling pleasant. You're not feeling calm, right? And so you kind of have a bummer of an attitude all the time. If you're stressed all the time, you're looking for danger all of the time, you're probably finding it because we can always find the funky stuff, right? It's there. So if you're always looking for it, you're going to find it. So it leaves you with this sort of bummer of an attitude. And so the real result of that is we don't really feel past exhaustion. You feel that loud and clear. What do I feel when I'm rushing around? I feel exhausted. Clear. Got it. But you don't really connect to what else you're feeling because your body has shut it down. You aren't present. You aren't feeling the rest of the stuff. So you don't even know what's happening because your life is just a blur. How many times have you thought that? Life is just a blur. I don't even know what's happening. What do I want? I don't know. What am I feeling? I don't know. I'm tired. I know that much. Um, so when you think about planning, I want you to throw away the idea that you have to have a map of every single thing that you do. And instead, I want you to think about you being like this really thoughtful partner in your life. So, you know how like I was living with some friends one time and I came home from this long day of work and they had already eaten dinner, but they left me a plate and a glass of wine, another plate covering that plate with this beautifully made dinner. It was so thoughtful. It was so wonderful and thoughtful. And so planning is you being that thoughtful partner. Instead of thinking I have to have a roadmap of all the single things, I want you to think, what is one little me peeking in through the window of what's coming up in my life? And what is one thoughtful thing I can do for that person who's going to be doing the thing? So, a couple of examples, and these are silly, but they're real. Can you look in your sock drawer and figure out how many socks or underwear you have left until you need to do laundry? If you need to do laundry on Wednesday, it's going to be a big old bummer on Thursday if you're late and you don't have any socks or underwear, right? So can I do laundry? Can I make it so that I know I'm going to do laundry on Wednesday? Can I look into the fridge and say, what's a protein in there and what's a vegetable in there that I can make a base for dinner on? You know, if I have nothing when I'm home from a long day of work and I'm starving and I look in there and there's nothing, and that's a surprise to me, that's a bummer. Now I'm even farther behind. Now I'm rushing around. Now I'm eating cereal for dinner, which doesn't feel nearly as good. um, can you check the eggs? If you eat eggs in the morning or whenever you eat them, when are you going to run out? Can you go to the grocery store the day before instead of the day after you run out? These are all little things. But when you think about the person who is got a fresh thing of eggs or the person who looks for eggs and they have none, that's a really big deal in that moment. When you look in your drawer and you're like, crap, I need to get to this meeting, but I don't have any socks and it's 30 degrees outside. Well, that's a bummer versus, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have this meeting and I have all of my laundry done, right? The difference is you're still going to do laundry. You're still going to get groceries. Can you get them, take a little peek, just a little sneak peek and see what's coming up so that the plan is not this master, I have everything that I'm ever doing planned out to a T. It's just how can I sneak peek and be so sweet to myself? How can I be a thoughtful partner in my life? That is planning. That when you build the muscle of planning the tiny things, when you start to build the strength of looking ahead, just a little tiny peek ahead, so that you can be thoughtful for yourself, holy moly, it undoes all of that rushing around. It opens up a new world for how do I get things done? I want to look at any point and I want you to look at any point in your day where you're like, I'm so busy. and you feel the stress of being busy. And I want you to say, what is the one thing when I'm feeling that way that would be so helpful? What if some sweet soul rushed in and did this little thoughtful thing for me? What would that be? What could that be? What would help me feel calm in this moment? What would help me feel prepared in this moment? We're each going to have different things that stress us out, right? We're each going to have different ways that we feel rushed or busy or behind. And so if you can start to think about you, because you are the biggest expert on you, and think, what is the little thing that I can do for this person so that they feel calm and prepared? That's planning. It doesn't have to be a roadmap of every detail of your life. It can just be a little tiny sneak peek with thoughtfulness to say, I want the me of tomorrow to feel easy about getting to the dentist. I want the me of tomorrow to go into that stressful meeting feeling great about it. So I would love to hear. Tell me in the comments of this video, what are the tiny little bitty itty bitty ways that you're going to take a little peek into the future and be thoughtful for yourself? I can't wait to hear about it.